guys, so it's been a couple days. Just got back from a lovely lunch with Drew and his significant other. I'm not sure if they're married. I think they're married. I think it's wife. Not sure. Didn't ask. But they were awesome folks. We've been bullshitting for the last 2 days. He drove down from Colorado day before yesterday, stayed the night. Yesterday, Motorhead came up. We tuned the bike out. The last little bits on E85, jumped to gasoline, knocked out gasoline. I set up two-step boost by time. We did make some changes. So he did not like the hand clutch. I did not like the hand clutch. Motorhead did not like the hand clutch. It is what it's called a man's clutch in my opinion, and it is freaking stupid. To hold 400 horsepower with a full modded clutch takes all heavy springs. Well, that makes it real rough to pull, real rough to ride, and even harder to get into neutral. So we went ahead and put my hand slider on there. Actually, it's not mine, it's Amos's. So Amos sold it to him. I gotta go get cash here in a minute for Amos. And we got him out the door. I'll insert some pictures here. So she came out beautiful. I taught him how to do a burnout with the slider. Got him set up with all the software and TeamViewer and everything, so he's ready to rock and roll. And we're on to the next ones. So I've got Rob's new stocker up here on the dyno. I've just got to tune that out. It's got the 32-bit upgrade. New battery from Dennis. I've done all the PM on it. Trying to remember. And the slip-ons, the Vance & Hines slip-ons that Rob gave me, I gave back. So I'm going to go ahead and tune that out just to do something a little mind-numbing because the last 2 days have been a little crazy. Not that crazy, actually. It's just been steady work, but just a lot of it. His tires at Longshore, I'm waiting for a call that it's mounted. They had a few things they got to get through. Warren's Motorhead's coming over to work on here real shortly. Let's see. The Gixxer I got to get to. This, now that the exhaust shops are open, is the first week after the new year. So I tried doing a slip adapter. It does not want to fit over. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to have them cut it because I haven't marked for a cut. I'm going to have them cut it and then flare it until it slides easily onto the piece they cut off. Then that bike will be done. I just got to put it back up on the dyno like it was and iron out the last couple little bitty bits that I got to do on it. From there, the Bandit is ready to go back up on the dyno. That Gixxer is waiting on payment. And we have rolled out James Carroll's bike. That is the individual from, I believe it was Maryland. This bike's complaint was burning oil, which he has a very large -10 feed return line going to a scavenge pump. That's a lot of volume that can bleed down after the pump loses prime, which is pretty much 2 minutes after you shut it off, back into the turbo. And it's all going downhill. So we're going to go ahead and redo that into -6 with a check valve. But first, I have bid this out to Scotty. Scotty's going to come over, drop the motor out, put valve springs in it, and put the motor back in. And then from there, I will go ahead and redo the scavenger system. It's getting new valve seals as well, just in case that's an issue. I have to mount up a few things that are hanging, put a chain on, hook up the CO2 for the boost control, which is nitrous, and it should be ready to dyno. This is going to get a full street tune, so I have to set the MTC Gen 2 up as a live clutch, and I will give it a full street tune on race gas. So this is going to be a C16 bike. I'm just going to tune it on C16 and be done. He said 110 and C16. I've got to explain to him that there is a fueling difference between the two. C16 tends to run quite a bit richer than 110. You can get away with switching around when it's on a max because the lambda correction is going to catch it. It's like 8 or 10% fuel difference between those two. It's like 7 or 8% between gasoline and C16, and then there's 110 runs leaner yet. So we'll get that done, hopefully quickly, but I'm not giving deadlines. Per the 2024 rule update, this does not get a deadline. His deadline is spring. That one was actually given that way back. So that bike's been here for a couple months. It hasn't been touched. That's because he shipped it before the weather switched, and he hopes to have it back before the weather switches again, which he will. That's not hard. It's a running bike. Everything's good on it. It just doesn't have valve springs. He has a built motor supposedly with no valve springs, so I'm curious to see what all's done in the motor. I'll get a good examination of that when we pull the head off. And the oil consumption issue, which is probably just at startup, and it is definitely going to be flooding out the frickin' turbo. So that's what we got going on. The brushless fuel pump for the Gen 3 Hyperboost Killer came in. The head and everything's rocking. We're just waiting on a couple more things to come in. We can start putting a motor together. But we chose kind of a shitty time of year to do it. Should have sent everything out earlier, but it is what it is in that case. So we're starting to clear some things out. I got to go get Eric's other bike out of storage and drop the motor out of that. But first, I want to get all of Rob's done. But I will get that out of storage, get it up here. That bike just needs the motor dropped, flipped, split the mains, and see what the rod bearings look like, because I'm pretty sure they're going to look like they got chewed on by a dog. That bike had a clutch come apart, and it plugged the oil pickup. So bad things happen when you do that. Low oil pressure plus boost, not a good combination. But for now, it's brisk in here. I'm going to get my uniform on and go back to the gas station where everyone seems to be quitting, and I don't know why, because it's about the easiest job I ever worked in my life. But it's certainly getting harder with everybody quitting. There's a lot of quitters in this society now, and it's not even funny. $14 an hour to babysit a register at a gas station. Isn't that hard? I wound up running the whole kitchen last night and having to chase around a bunch of other stuff that was not all one person's duties, but it is what it is. Hopefully tonight we have staffing and I can just do my job. And maybe get a haircut in a day. I need a haircut. I need a shave. Maybe tomorrow. I may take tomorrow and do that. We'll see. I'll update you. Maybe we'll see a video of me tuning this nice stock Gen 1. It should be real easy tune. Cross my fingers. It's just 32-bit conversion, so the fueling's a little different. Down low, that's most of it. It's starting a little hard because it needs fuel down low. But we'll see what she does. Later, guys.